days I'll get used to this new camera. Okay guys, I put the starboard strake on this top one, and when I was doing it I was looking at the bottom one. I thought it doesn't look right, and the one above it didn't look right either. It was covering almost 2 cannon ports. Now that's not right. So I consulted my pictorial illustration guide here, and yeah, I was probably a board and a half out, which is about 6 millimeters. 6 millimeters doesn't sound a lot. It's a lot when you're looking for parallel or parallel-ish lines. So using my trusty knife, I peeled back the covering, managed to separate and pulled it back to about here, and I've restuck it in the right position. And of course, having done the starboard side, I then reconsulted the port side, and lo and behold, the same thing. Obviously I had matched them up. So just be careful when you're marking up the lines where these are going to go, that you get them right. I thought I had them right. They were slightly out. So that's it for now. I shall finish this port side off tomorrow, and then we'll move on to the next stage, which I think is cutting these cannon portholes. But that's another story, how we're going to do that, because up to now all the holes that are marked have been too small, so I got a feeling that for them also too small, but I've got a trick up my sleeve, I hope. Okay, see you tomorrow. Good morning folks. Well, as you can see, I've got 4 sets of rubbing strakes installed. I hope I've done the adjustment correct. There's a bit of sanding and piling and filling to go in to make them lie down properly. This one's not lying down at all, so it's going to be cut and popped down. I will do that later. The next job is to clear these cannon ports. So 3 touch on this one, and I think 1 at the back. Yep, and probably the same the other side. So I'm going to put a new blade in my knife and carry on with that, and I'll come back to you when I've got that done, because the next phase, really quite interesting, is to put these templates in. I've got to work out where they all go. I think that one goes in there, and then we can see how far out they are. Just like that. It's a little bit out, so I'll probably adjust that again to make it fit the paper template. Okay, I'll carry on with this. I'll see you when I've got it done. Okay guys, the strakes are on, and now comes the fun part of marking up these. Now I'm going to rub these out because these are wrong. Did them with the now I know from my measurements and the pictures in the pictorial that the bottom one is in the right position. So now comes putting these in the right, these ones, right? So if I put this piece of paper in right to the front and do that, you can see that that is just a fraction too high, low. Get it right in a minute. I can't quite get the paper in there, and the paper is cut. Now, the funny thing is, it's low here, high here, low there, so it needs to be adjusted from a bit here down. So that is my next little job. Again, I've got to unstick it, having just restuck it yesterday. We'll start with that one, and then from there we will move up to the next one, and then the next one. This one looks like it could be pretty good. Maybe not. Fraction out. A fraction. So, okay, let me unstick and I'll show you resticking. So I'm not doing cannon cutouts yet. That'll come later, since this has to be adjusted down here, up there. No, down and down. So I've got to take it back to about here, somewhere. This will be fun. I'll come back to you when I've got it done. Guys, I think you can see that I've had to move them slightly, and this one. So I'm having to redo these. What I did is I cut the front of the strakes off. It's going to be sanded and primed later. You're not going to see the joint. I've got some new bits here which I'm just about to bend into shape. Say bend. It's bend that way. Actually, soaking them could be just enough to get the curve in the wood. Kind of like that. There we go, that's one. The other one will go above that. A bit more bend there. I shall finish this off tomorrow because, well, if anybody follows the rugby, it's the Six Nations rugby today. It's Scotland against France in about half an hour's time. So I will be stopping to go and watch that. And I'll carry on with this tomorrow. Okay, see you then. Right guys, I haven't filmed very much. I've been correcting a lot of things which were not wrong but not in the right place. So you can see I've now got the strakes in the right place. They're marked up where the reinforcements go, and I've put the first bit of reinforcements in. That's about it for today. Hopefully I'll finish off these not the 3 and 4 pins, the reinforcements tomorrow. Certainly on this head, and then the next thing is to do these gun ports. And what I'm going to do is the same as I did before. I'm going to make up a frame to use as a template, and I'll go along each one at a time, mark them up to the full size for the frame, because later on we're going to line the inside, and then we're going to put the holes right through into the inside frame as well, and the gun port frame will then fit right through this hole, through the inside hole, and will be stuck in between the two. That's not for a while yet. The other thing, as you can see, I've trimmed the strake to clear the gun port. Looks quite good. I'm quite pleased with it. I mean, they're only millimetres out of position, but those millimetres can mean a lot. So they're correct now. You can see that fitted in perfectly, that the reinforcements. Okay, see you tomorrow. Okay guys, you can see that I put the reinforcement strips in there, and some good sanding down, and some little touches, tiny little touches of filler in the corners. Same with this one. Okay, we'll carry on and do this one, this one, this one, and this one. Hopefully I can get it in the video, in the shot, what I'm doing, so you can see what I'm doing. These ones of course need to be bent, so I'm going to need the heat gun on again. The heat gun being the soldering iron, the old soldering iron. Don't know how I came up with that. Right, so this was the bottom one. Goes in here, perfect fit. Now, this should be the next one. Again, good fit. So, the wood used for this is this, what do they call it? WS2. Yeah. Now you can see that I think 4 planks probably be good for this one. I needed 5 for the other one. Get some extra light so I can see what I'm doing. So, put the ship back on the stand and slide it back out of the way a bit. So, the knack here is to try and keep them as close together as you can. See if we can get, if we have got, it's all curved this one. So, one bit. So, it's got a slight curve to it. Right to the end. That should do it. No. Oh, there we have the shape it's going to be. Yep, circle a bit. I hope you can see that. That's what I'm going to have to cut out and shape. Not shape, but it has to be bent to fit in this groove here. Okay. I find this bit fairly straightforward. Now, what I do is I forgot to do it just now. Is I mark them 1, 2, 3, 4, or however many it is, because when they get separated, trying to remember which order they go back in can be quite funny. So, got a curve to it. So I'm just deciding whether to cut it with a blade or further to sand it. I think I'll cut it first and then we'll look at the shape later. Give himself a bit of space. Wrong one. Okay. So what we'll do now is soak these. Give them 5-10 minutes to soak. These ones are going to be interesting. I could do those while I'm waiting. Look at the angle I've got on there. Oh. So let me just double check what we've got going on here. What I need to do is rub out some of the older markings and put the new ones in. Especially at the front end. I've got 3 different sets of markings here already. So there. This doesn't have as pronounced the curve as the other. But it does have some curve. So that's what I'm putting in now. Good thing about this this one doesn't have an awful lot of curve to it, so I don't think I need to heat it up. I think it'll take the curve on the glue. That's what I shall do. Make sure I get glue both sides of that gum pot. So that I get the wood stuck down. I'll stick myself from it, of course. You see, it has to be well stuck in that corner. Let that sit for a little bit so it sets in a bit. I could even do a second one. Yeah. Yeah. As much as possible, I'm trying not to put pins in these parts. It's only 1 mil thick, almost a veneer. Not quite, but if I can get the lines right. Look quite smart. Now, before I put the next ones on, I'm going to cut the slot out for the gun port. These bits should now be ready for bending. I'm going to start with the top one and work my way back. So, on number 4, which is, oh, you can see it needs to be bent principally about where my finger is. Put a good bend on it. It won't need very much. Yeah. And that'll fit perfectly, exactly where it should be. So, try it. Glue. And just like that, it's in. So, number 3. These the main rubbing strengths will be sanded down a little while. You see, I had to put some filler on down at the front here, just fill up the holes. I also took the advantage to do the bow while I was at it. So there'll be a bit of rubbing down to do. So, next piece. If you haven't been here before and you wonder what I'm doing, just out the view of the camera, I've got an old soldering iron plugged in, and what I do is I use the barrel of the iron to bend the wood around. You soak the wood in water for, well, when it's thick wood, about 20 minutes. It's thinner wood, you can judge by it if it bends on the iron. But, yeah, between 5 and 10 minutes. Doesn't seem to be getting any glue coming out of this. That's doesn't really help that I keep putting my hand across the light, so I'm working in the shadow. And the last piece, and this is where we do some trimming to make it fit. You can see that I'm going to have to take a bit off. Then its bottom end here. Still a bit yet. There we go. So it's going to bend about there. It is still wet, so wet enough to do this job anyway. See? One bent piece of wood. And got it right, it should just flip in there. Just need to take a sliver off at the top here. Just like that. That's where it will go. Again, I have to pop it back out so I can glue it. And just like that, that's a hull reinforcement done. I'm quite pleased with that one. Absolutely in the right place. Okay, I'm going to put you on pause for a minute while I shape this. I'll come back to it to finish it off. We are folks with just the slightest little bit of trimming on the end here, and this gum pot trimmings on the end. That's the last piece I just pushed in, and is it lined in? I think it is. So we've got to trim this around this gum pot. That's the starboard side done. I shall carry on tomorrow and do the port side. That'll be on the next video. I've got to somehow work out a little bit of curve on here, so I need to just nick a little bit off the end, this one here, so it lies in the right line. But all in all, I'm quite pleased with that. It's lying quite nice. Just this curve that has to be sorted. Okay, that'll be that for tonight's video. I should have said, if you'd like to follow along on this adventure that I'm having, hit the subscribe button, and when you subscribe you'll see the little bell will come up. If you click on the bell you'll be notified when the next video is available. Oh no, I'm quite pleased with how those ribbon strakes have gone on. I've got to do a little bit of sanding down here so I expose the lines again, and obviously there's a lot of sanding to be done, but coming up soon will be the priming. That'll be interesting. Okay, that's it this time. See you soon.